this is my review of Sonic X. Okay, so this episode is the final episode of the Chaos Saga, and it basically wraps up the storyline for Sonic Adventure. So, yeah, they're going to be moving on to other Sonic games for the second season. I was wrong; it's not just Sonic Adventure, but yeah, they start. Yeah, during the second season, they start wrapping up. So they start covering some of the games, and this episode wraps up the Sonic Adventure storyline. So, as we've established, Chaos got the 6 Chaos Emeralds but was defeated, but during the process, they actually find out more about what Chaos is, and it finally comes full circle in this episode. So the episode starts with Mr. Stewart unable to figure out where Chris is, and even reports back to the government, pointing out that he's not entirely sure what happened to Chris, pointing out that he's been absent for the past couple of days. But as he's talking, Francis, Danny, and Helen all ask him to play basketball with them, which he does, and in the process finds out that they've actually come to basically adore him as their teacher, pointing out that they didn't know what to make of him at first, but they pointed out that he's actually a pretty cool teacher, and they're happy that they got to have him as a teacher, and which makes him happy as well. But in any case, the reason Chris has been absent is because he's apparently still looking for Knuckles and hasn't found him yet, because he wants to bring the 7th Chaos Emerald back to Knuckles for safekeeping. Remember that's going to be important. But basically what happens is that doesn't wind up working out, long story short. So meanwhile, so Sonic and Tails are walking through the woods looking for Knuckles, and they eventually do find him, as well as an unconscious Eggman who explains what happened. They initially think Eggman's dead. So Tails pokes him with a stick, and then he wakes up, revealing that Chaos attacked him for failing him, and it points out that Chaos is most likely after the 7 Chaos Emeralds, so that it can become all powerful and destroy everything. But points out that he's not going to personally let that happen, and then leaves with the help of Deco and Boko to go find Chaos and bring him back in, pointing out that Chaos needs to fall in line if Dr. Eggman is going to succeed in world domination. But in case he leaves, at which point Knuckles and Sonic realize that if they don't find Chaos soon, he's going to absorb the 7 Chaos Emeralds to become all powerful, and then nothing will be able to stop them. But as they're about to leave and go do that, they're actually transported to the past by Tikal, who actually reveals the origins of Chaos and what's actually going on. As it turns out and has been firmly established, Chaos was a guardian deity of the Chao, and during the events of Pachacamac's war many years ago, Pachacamac trampled his own daughter as well as all of the Chao that Chaos was supposed to be guarding. And in retaliation, Chaos used the power of the Chaos Emeralds to make them all disappear. Basically Chaos got a little upset at them and made them disappear. At which point Knuckles and Sonic realize that Tikal is the only one left, and Sonic rushes to her aid to help her. At which point Tikal reveals the secrets behind the Chaos Emeralds. So according to Tikal, the way the Chaos Emeralds work is that they actually amplify whatever emotions are currently inside the host's body when they use the Chaos Emeralds. But if the Chaos Emeralds detect negative emotion, those are going to be amplified instead. And case in point, Chaos's anger was amplified by the Chaos Emeralds, which is why it used its power to make everybody disappear. So, and with that, Sonic and Knuckles are transported back to the present, where they realize they need to find Chaos quickly, or it's going to use the negative power of the Chaos Emeralds to destroy everything, realizing that it's angry and they need to help subdue its anger, or things are going to get messy. Unfortunately, they have literally no time to do it, because right at that moment, Chris shows up with the 7th Chaos Emerald in hand, and Chaos attacks him, with Sonic and Knuckles saving him, but in the process, Chaos gets access to all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds and proceeds to use their power to destroy Station Square. and the military have no way of actually dealing with Chaos, since Chaos has destroyed all of their missile silos, so they can't actually shoot any missiles off to defeat it. And any attacks made by the military's helicopters would just get absorbed by Chaos and fired back at them. So they really have no way of actually defeating this thing. And case in point, now Station Square has been completely flooded by perfect chaos. And sure enough, Sonic and his friends all proceed to go to save what's left of Station Square. Sonic travels on foot, obviously, whereas everybody else travels in the X-Tornado. Meanwhile, Dr. Eggman retreats to his second egg carrier, which apparently he built a second one of to be operational, which isn't explained in the games as to why the egg carrier can still work, but here they do actually explain it. He has a second one. So yeah, after the military show up and try to fight the thing, it goes on the news and everybody knows that Perfect Chaos is a threat now. And everybody begins to evacuate, with Mr. Stewart even defying a direct order from the government to do so, evacuating all of his kids to higher ground so they can safely get out of the way of Chaos and his flooding. But during the process, Cheese sees. So I've talked to people in the comments about this, but Cheese sees Chaos going on a rampage on the news. And he tries in vain to explain what exactly is going on with Chaos and why they shouldn't be afraid. So because we've established at this point that Chaos is the guardian deity of the Chow, so naturally Chow are going to realize that he's not actually evil, he's just really, really angry, and they need to, and he's not so much destroying things because he wants to, but rather because he's angry at the world for attacking his Chow friends. So, and Cheese is trying to explain that, but since all he can say is Chow, nobody ever actually picks up on that. So he winds up his pleas just wind up landing on deaf ears because they can't actually understand what he's saying, which is tragic, but that's what happens. But in any case, Sonic and his friends eventually arrive at Station Square, and everybody starts cheering for Sonic to defeat Chaos. But in its perfect form, Sonic can't actually land a blow on Chaos and keeps getting knocked around as he tries in vain to actually hurt Chaos. Eventually he starts surfing on a piece of wood away from Chaos, and Chris picks him up from the X-Tornado. And Chris points out, and Sonic tells Chris that he needs all hands on deck if they're going to actually be able to defeat Chaos. And sure enough, they retreat into the X-Tornado. But during the process, Eggman shows up with his Egg Carrier 2, as he calls it, and proceeds to open fire on Chaos, and which surprises Sonic, realizing that Eggman is on his side for once. But it quickly becomes apparent that they have no real way of Eggman can't actually defeat Chaos, and his Egg Carrier is destroyed, and he, Deco, and Boko all escape. And as Sonic contemplates what they're supposed to do now to actually defeat Chaos, they're actually rescued by Tikal, who finally reveals herself in the flesh and explains what exactly happened with Chaos. How she and Chaos have been bound to each other for thousands of years, and she's been trying to keep Chaos's anger in check, but to no avail. And to that end, she actually is the one responsible for stealing Chaos and the Master Emerald, and had hoped that he would stay in there until his chaos subsided. But unfortunately, that didn't happen because, as we know, Eggman set Chaos free, and, well, now Chaos is using his perfect chaos to form to destroy everything. So, and Tikal explains that they need to seal Chaos and the Master Emerald again, but Sonic points out that that's not the best idea, since that's only going to delay the inevitable, and this situation is only going to happen again. And points out that they actually need the power, that they're actually going to need to be able to neutralize Chaos to actually get him to stop. At which point, Chaos coughs up all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds, but they're without their power, so they're unable to be used by Sonic. And one of them lands by Tikal's feet, and she points this out to Sonic, who is a little bit distressed about the fact that the Chaos Emeralds have no power anymore. But as he contemplates of another way to actually defeat Chaos and save Station Square, all of Sonic's friends and Eggman show up with a Chaos Emerald and all hand them to him, pointing out that he should be able to use the Chaos Emerald to neutralize Chaos. And sure enough, everybody starts cheering and using the power of the and that's enough to actually start fueling the Chaos Emeralds, which Tikal is surprised by because she thought that only negative emotions could be amplified by the Chaos Emeralds. But Sonic's friends also all point out that there's actually something a bit more powerful than hate, friendship. So basically, Sonic is being fueled by the power of friendship. It's some Saturday morning cartoon cheese, and I actually kind of love it. That's the kind of thing you would see on a Saturday morning cartoon. And to be fair, Sonic X is a glorified Saturday morning cartoon, so it works. But in case with everybody cheering Sonic on, Sonic transforms into Super Sonic, and he's able to actually keep up with and eventually overpower Perfect Chaos. Being able to keep up with its attacks, basically outright nullify them, and then uses Super Sonic's power to actually neutralize Chaos and get rid of its anger. And obviously Chaos is ejected from Perfect Chaos as a result of this, and Perfect Chaos fades. And while Knuckles is understandably skeptical about the fact that Chaos is still alive and proceeds to try and go and battle it, he's stopped by Cheese, who then recruit, and all of his nearby Chow friends gather around Chaos and reveal that he's not actually angry anymore. He was just upset by the fact that his Chow got trampled, and upon seeing that all of his Chow friends are okay, and upon Tikal explaining that these are the same Chow he tried to protect thousands of years ago, Chaos realizes that he most likely doesn't need to become Perfect Chaos again anytime soon, and proceeds to depart with Tikal, and they just kind of disappear into thin air. It's a little bit weird, and again, it's a kind of Saturday morning cartoon cheese, but I do kind of love it. But in case with that, Station Square is saved yet again from Chaos. So yeah, Chaos got defeated by the power of friendship. Basically, that's what we're establishing. But I did enjoy this episode, and I did enjoy this little arc. This arc does a lot much better job of explaining the story of Sonic Adventure. Because I'll be honest, the early games aren't very good at the whole exposition thing. Because some of the early 3D games kind of weren't good with the whole exposition thing, and Sonic X kind of helps remedy that by actually explaining it a little bit better. So yeah, I do like this idea that they do kind of go back through all of their older games and use the anime to explain some things that weren't well explained in the actual games themselves. So I'm personally happy with that, and I'm looking forward to seeing what arc they actually cover next. So I'm interested to see what game they actually cover next and what the arc winds up being. So yeah, that's my review of Sonic X. What did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, be sure to check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks that I'm always saying thanks. So be sure to check those out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!